Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on today's live panel. We're going to be talking about, could your employees be your biggest marketing asset? So I'm joined today, I'm Jag Panisar from Xpand, we're a digital marketing agency, and I'm joined today by Richard, Danny, and Sally. So I will let you guys introduce yourselves. So Richard, tell us a bit about yourself.
Good morning, I'm Richard Montgomery. I'm the Managing Director of a company called Mitchells of Mansfield Transport. We are a transport business based in Nottingham, and we've been using Xpand services successfully now for over a year, and very happy with the service.
Fantastic. Right, straight over to you then, Danny. That's a nice little link in.
Yeah, thanks for that, Richard. I'm Danni Johnson. I'm Digital Marketing Manager here at Xpand. I'm celebrating my 3-year anniversary this week. So yeah, been here. Feels a lot longer, but in a good way.
And over to you, Sally.
Hi, I'm Sally. I'm the founder of Limelight HR. We've been going about 5 years now, and we work with small businesses to help them engage their staff and create happy workplaces full of joy so that everybody loves coming into work.
Excellent. So yeah, so happy people at work. There's a huge thing right now about employee engagement and employee advocacy, and we're in a position now where it's not how it used to be with mill owners, where you could just treat your workers like dirt and they just come in and they get paid and that's it. That's just not a thing anymore. It's all about having good, happy staff with you, and that's when you're really going to get the best out of them. So the phrases that are being bandied around at the moment, a lot of things like employee engagement and employee advocacy. So Sally, over to you. What is employee engagement?
Oh, big question. But essentially, it's people feeling connected to the place that they work and caring about it, and it's a two-way thing. It's employers and companies caring about the people that work for them and wanting them to feel happy at work, and it's finding that community and that spirit and that common purpose so that everybody has a sense of achieving something and working towards something together. And feeling a happiness and a joy in that through the way the work's done, the way people are communicated with, and ultimately that has an impact on the success of the business, and it impacts on the way customers are treated, the way clients are treated, so it's an all-round win-win.
Great stuff. I mean, we had a statistic kind of in the promotional material that we were putting together. And it said that one unengaged employee on an average salary of 35,000 can cost the business £7,000. That's a pretty big figure. You know, they talk about kind of quiet quitting and lack of just being present, really. And it's that engagement that really keeps going. Oh, Richard's sound has gone. Okay, well, hopefully it'll come back. I think your Wi-Fi is jumping in and out. Hopefully it'll come back. Well, okay, well, we've talked about employee engagement. So, okay, well, you've got employee engagement, but then we also hear this phrase employee advocacy. So, Danny, tell us a bit about employee advocacy.
Yeah, God, a little bit in the time we've got. So I guess employee advocacy is the next stage from what Sally's just been talking about. It's, you know, when you've got engaged employees, it's that next step to getting them to then go and talk about your brand positively. That's usually within social media when we talk about it in the way that we do employee advocacy. You know, the tools that you can use. What is going on?
Yeah, it's saying your sound's gone, Richard. I'm not seeing you on the panel. You're muted. Is your audio? Have you unmuted? Have you muted yourself?
You can't say that we're not engaging whenever we run these events.
This is just an example of having fun at work.
It really is. Like, it's deliberate. It's deliberate. Yeah. Any good at sign language, Richard?
My employee engagement, Richard.
Modern technology. I can pay a fortune for broadband. Sorry, guys. So if you spoke to me and I ignored you, I'm very sorry.
No, you just missed. Don't worry.
So
Danny, you're
Danny.
talking about
So yeah, so employee advocacy is the next step from employee engagement. So once your staff are engaged, and I think it's vital, I guess, Sally, I don't know that you'd agree that there is a difference between people coming to work and working 9 till 5 and those that are engaged. So, you know, the ones that will go away and talk positively about your brand without you telling them that they have to do that. It's just a natural thing to want to go out there and shout about who they work for because they enjoy working there. And I know, you know, the work that we've done with you, Richard, where we've had staff that haven't even started with Mitchell's yet that are already on Facebook sharing the posts and shouting about Mitchell's, and you know, they're engaged and they're not even there yet. Not even come through the door and they're advocacy. So, you know, so it is, and you know, that's a big aspect of now personal brand, you know, going forward. You know, a lot of businesses are now looking at personal brand as well as their employer brand as well. And you know, there's nothing more powerful than your employees doing the social media content for you naturally. So
absolutely. And Richard, what would you say your experience of that is? Obviously Danny touched on it a little bit. What is the experience at Mitchell's of employee advocacy and engagement?
We kind of have always had an ethos, and that is we can sit here and we can build businesses and we can buy equipment, but a lot of the time we're not customer facing. So unless you've got your employee advocacy working, then you can do the best that you can with a brand and a logo, but it has to stand for something. And without it standing for something, it's pointless. So we are, if you like, a family business, and we've always been a family business. And it's okay to say you're a family business if you take a corporate approach to everything that you do. We are at a size of a business where finding a fine balance between corporate and remaining family can be difficult at times, but it's really important that we know that the staff are engaged, that they are taking positive things from the work that they're doing. So we do lots of things. We engage with them on projects that we work with, whether that's charities, whether it's local projects that we're doing within the community. We get them on board.
We've lost your sound.
oh no.
Sorry, just a moment. No, the sound's gone again.
Put some elevator music on.
We'll play some elevator music in the meantime.
It
It sounds like he does some great things, is what we're getting at. Maybe he wants to keep them a secret.
Yeah, he doesn't want to share them.
Yeah, he's just realised he's giving too much away.
To be fair to Mitchell's, they do a lot. Lip read.
So what would you say, so Danny, you know, what are the real standout examples that you've observed while we've been working with Mitchell's?
The fact that Richard cares.
Oh, hi.
Hey, I was about to give you a big up there, and you just stopped.
Carry on, then. Carry on.
Still not working. Richard is, you know, he himself is an engaged member of Mitchell's, and I think that matters. You know, he's he understands and gets what's going on in his employee's life. And to be fair, we actually went down 2 weeks ago, I think, to do some videoing, and we interviewed a handful of the staff, and every single one of them said that they felt like an individual and were treated like an individual, and they were not a number when it came to working at Mitchell's. And I think that in itself, it just speaks volumes. Oh, he's gone again.
Yeah, we've lost you again. So Sally, what would you say, kind of, what kind of steps, I know this is kind of hinting towards future stuff we're going to be talking about, but you know, what is kind of that secret to success in employee engagement from a HR perspective? What are the kind of things people should be doing?
I think the first thing is you've got to genuinely care and you've got to want to do it. What I find is at the moment, especially because of the recruitment issues, companies are suddenly going, oh, we need to advertise ourselves as this caring company that does all of these things. But it's not enough to just put that out as an advert and say you do it. You've got to genuinely want it for the people that are already in the business, and you've got to genuinely have that connection with them. Then the advertising and the recruitment is just a follow-on from that. The meaningful stuff has to already be happening, and it has to be on a daily basis. And if you have a strong purpose and vision and values, then you should be living those every day. It's not about creating some words and putting them up on some walls and thinking, right, now everybody go back to your job because you're really clear on what our values are. So it's been really clear about all of that stuff. It's living it every day. It's treating people as individuals, like Danni said, Richard is doing, and finding ways for people to bring people together, but understanding that everybody is individual. So find a way to help each individual feel included and feel part of the organisation, that they can come to work feeling themselves, not that they have to fit in with a certain type or approach. Yeah, and it's just checking in with people, having regular conversations. It's being a strong leader, and making sure that you lead by example, and that you make decisions and you give people the freedom to act as well, that you don't take that away from them.
I think there's a fine balance as well, isn't there? Like, there's not, you can't just, we're not saying just, go out there and celebrate every single little thing and push it to the point where it's actually ridiculous, because you can go, I think, too far where employees will just feel like you're just doing this for the sake of doing this. And I think Mitchell strike that balance really well, that actually it doesn't feel like that. And, even from the outside, it doesn't feel like, oh, here we go, another charity thing. It's done carefully, and it's done with care. And I think that's the main thing, like you, Jag, when, during lockdown, where it was a hard time for everybody, and we were all balancing different things, and you took an effort to send us all these little gift packs of like cookies and muffins, and that's something that will stand by me, will stick with me for forever, for the rest of my career, because it mattered. It seemed a little thing to you, but you don't do it all the time so that it becomes ridiculous. It's like when your husband buys you flowers every single week or whatever, it just becomes a bit like, well, it's just flowers again. But it's those little one-off things that actually, and the little message that you took time to personalize and write to each of us individually, it meant a lot. And I think that's what it is. It's those little things that make you feel like you're not a number. Like I was saying with Richard.
Interesting. You should talk about lockdown, because I think that was a real turning point for in the corporate world, when companies are talking about their values and their beliefs and their ethos, but there was this clear separation between companies that were saying, yeah, we look after our people, we care about our people, but the things that they were actually doing during lockdown, during such a difficult time for the whole world, and there were so many people out, and so many stories came out, it really came out in the wash who which companies were and were not. And I think since then there's been so much more awareness. It always has been a thing and should have been a big thing, but I feel like lockdown just accelerated the recognition, employee engagement.
I kind of agree. It was that. Hello.
Hello. Quick.
It was that point for us where you kind of had to realise that we reacted quickly, and we made sure that we were taking the most vulnerable people in our business and making sure they were isolated but safe in the same way.
Oh no.
We've lost you again. Oh dear.
Oh, so frustrating. Oh no, you're back.
You're back.
No, you're gone.
Oh no, it's saying you're back, but you're not back. Oh, technology, eh?
Now, I think it is those individual things that do really count, because you'll get businesses that give everybody a £200 Amazon voucher, but where's the thought that's gone into that? Because you get a business that would go, we give people gifts. we give everybody a surprise, but where's the thought in a £200 Amazon voucher? You've just gone, what's a really easy thing that I can spend some money on and give to everybody? What's thoughtful is understanding what would be special to each individual person, what would make them smile, what would surprise them, what would excite them. Like my team, when we were coming into winter and feeling like we needed a cozy day in the office, I think because we'd been for drinks the night before, I bought everybody a pair of slippers. So we've now got office slippers. You know, it's little things like that. It's unexpected things that show a genuine care and community amongst you as a team, not just I'm going to give you a bog standard voucher, or I'm going to give you your statutory holidays and your statutory pension. Well done, that's what everybody deserves. That's not something that you can, you know, have a sing and dance about.
It's true. But I know one of the things Richard's done, which really stood out to me when you were telling us last week when we were down there. I never even considered what the drivers at Mitchell's go through with the, you know, with the, when you were telling us about the jumpers, like when they jump in front of the trucks and stuff. And you think about it with trains, you know, and that happening, but it never crossed my mind that truckers would go through that. So Richard has like set up counselling and like provides those services for his drivers and his staff in-house as well when they're, you know, struggling with other things and mental health. You hugely support your team with the mental health. It's just, I've got a lot of admiration for that. So that was one thing that stuck with me when I walked out of Mitchell's after that meeting the other week. I was just like, wow, what more can you ask for? Like,
Richard, I think you're back. What do you see as the knock-on effect of looking after your people so well? We know that recruitment, when we started working together, it was before lockdown when we started working.
It was.
And then we created the strategy and we really started implementing it just over a year ago. What are you seeing as the impact within the business of actually being such a good boss?
We went from struggling to employ people. This industry, it's not, people tend to, there tends to be a churn of people that go through our industry. There are those people that are looking for their golden job, if you like, and this job can be easy for some people and hard for the others. I have to say now that we're in a point where we have a waiting list of people waiting to join the business, which is a place we've never been in, which is great. It is great, you know. We now know that we've got a constant source of new talent, and these are people that are experiencing what we're doing on social media. It comes from, you know, our drivers being out and being them ambassadors of our company. They make an effort to stop and help other people when you know, when they're in trouble, and it makes a massive difference. But it's because these people now know that they carry our ethos with them. You know, I wouldn't have never driven past somebody that was having a problem at the side of the road and not have stopped to help. And it's that education, training, you know, them understanding that I'm never going to shout at them for stopping or being late for a delivery, having stopped to help somebody else. It was, it's the last link that you leave them people with that makes a difference. And for any company now that's not paying attention and taking care of the people that are working for them, well, they're missing a huge opportunity. You know, it can be the biggest brand changing situation you can find yourself in. You know, we all know we've gone through an entire situation through lockdown of being battled with keyboard warriors where they were so quick to complain when something was wrong. And it's easy to complain because you're angry about something. It takes a lot to sit in front of a computer or type out an email to praise somebody for doing something. So when we get that feedback now about our staff, we make sure that we celebrate that. And, you know, you're absolutely right, Danny, in what you said. You can overdo it, but the other staff see that there's a celebration of somebody's achievement happening, and everybody wants to be part of that.
Yeah.
Everybody wants, you know, that picture on social media. They now want their family and their children to see dad or mum.
Yeah, they do.
On a post
Oh, we've lost you again, Richard. We've lost you.
Such a good point.
It was gold though. It was gold for the time that we had you.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no, he's been in
Well,
2 movies apparently.
So, I mean, we're talking there about, obviously, you know, from a recruitment perspective, and recruitment has been any business owners or any recruiters will know that the last few years have been an absolute challenge. Everything is completely just turned upside down, and this is where also it supports itself massively. As Richard said, you know, if you've got people queuing up the door, we've been fortunate enough at Xpand to have had, when we're recruiting, to have our members of our team telling their friends, oh, you really want to come and work here, it's great. And just from a recruitment perspective, again, rather than just putting out the standard ad and just waiting for people to queue up at your door, it attracts people with similar values. And when you have all that similar value alignment right from the beginning, that's exactly what, you know, what it is that you want. Sally, what's your experience on that side of things?
I think what really stands out, if you recruit based on your employer brand, your culture and what you believe in and your purpose and your values, what you do is, even if you don't take those people on at that point in time, you build a connection with people that buy into your business. And even if it's not the point at which they join the business, they become somebody who is going to stay in touch with you, somebody who you may potentially take on board down the line. And they also become somebody, like you've been talking about the advocacy, they will be going out and talking for your business, about your business, and already be supportive without having come on board. So it's about your reputation, both internally and externally, and it's about the integrity behind it. You can't get away with it anymore, just saying one thing and doing another. So yeah, it's a huge value, and it's really important in terms of your recruitment. You've got to stand out from the crowd. You are fighting for talent. You are literally fighting for talent right now, and you have to be an employer that people are desperate to work for, and they've got to understand what's in it for them, and you've got to make it really clear for them and want them to get on board. They've got to be desperate to join you. It's no longer just, here are the standard benefits, here's the job description and responsibilities. Why wouldn't you want this job? Why would they? Like, literally ask yourself, why would they want to join you over any other company? And if you haven't got some really clear ideas around that, why should they?
Yeah.
So you ask me how I judge our effectiveness. And our effectiveness is, if I have an employee who then wants his son to have a job, or his partner to have a job, or his brother, it means that they're almost endorsing the fact that this is the right place to be for another family member. So not only am I happy, but I think this place will make you happy too. That's advocacy for you. It's they're recruiting other people in a family business, and this comes to their relationship. So, you know, if somebody joins and has a bad time and it causes a problem between you said I was going to have a great time and I didn't, well, we all know we don't recommend people unless we absolutely trust that the reason for recommending, and it pays dividends here. You know, we've got mothers and daughters and fathers and sons and brothers and cousins, and it sounds like a deep south problem, but it's not. But you know, it's a great place to be, to know that our people are recruiting people.
Yeah.
And that they're also recruiting people that they know will fit with us. Not just about it's finding that fit. Yeah. You know, we know. I mean, I spend lots of time during the day forwarding Danny and Fran information of stuff that's coming in, photos that drivers are taking of the vehicles in nice places and with nice people. And you know, what I was trying to say earlier before the good Lord cut me off is the fact that for our business, we have a heavy saturation of equipment in a very small area. Now, nobody likes being stuck behind a truck, regardless of where you are. So it's absolutely imperative to me that our reputation is enough to make sure that our vehicles don't cause other people grief on the road. They don't mind being stuck behind them. They let them out at junctions. There's a good feeling about the company, and it's generated from the staff and from what Danny and Fran Jag have done with Xpand with the socials. It's that feeling that we've created that it almost has a life of its own. It's
and it's really sorry, go on.
No, go on. I was going to.
Oh, lost you again. I feel like we've lost you again.
Definitely Johnson.
Probably a good point.
To be fair, to back up what he was saying, he does have several families in the business that actually work in Mitchell's.
And which makes it a family business, really.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Families within the business. And when we think about recruitment, there's obviously, from a business perspective, there are costs associated with that, whether you're hiring a recruitment agency or your own time to put together the ads and then put it out there and interviewing people. But if your employees are actually supporting that because they're so happy, just think of that from a cost perspective, and then your employees are so happy that they are shouting about the business and they are advocates for it and talking about it on their own social media. The actual cost saving in the organisation is huge.
The stat is eight times more engagement on an employee's post. So when they've shared a company post, that is going to be seen 8 times more than it would. So every single employee doing that, if they're engaged enough and want to share, we're recruiting, we're looking for people, or we've done this amazing thing for charity, or this is Bob who works in our warehouse and he's been here 60 years. I want to share that on my feed with my friends and family as well. Then 8 times more engagement. What's that? It's free. It's free.
And in terms of the cost as well, if people are putting out a brand themselves, which isn't underpinned by their team and how their team feel and how it works in reality, even if they do it well enough to market themselves in order to recruit, they will just lose people within the probationary period anyway, because the reality doesn't match. So it's no good having a great marketing exercise if that isn't underpinned by a reality. And the reality is, like what you're saying, it's the people being able to back up what it is that the company is saying. And that's what makes the difference. And then the reality absolutely matches what you sold to somebody. Don't sell them the dream if you're not going to deliver it when they join you. It's a waste of everybody's time, and it's a huge cost to the business.
Yeah, so true. It's the first time ever, I mean, you said this, Jag, at the beginning, but it's the first time ever that we're having to sell why people should work for us rather than the candidate having to sell why we should hire them. It's just, why should you? Why, tell me why I should actually come to Xpand.
It's a little bit like the interview process has been completely reversed. They're interviewing us now. And we're telling them what they get. We don't. I won't sell a dream that we can't deliver on. What you get from us is utter honesty, and it takes time for people to understand that, the engagement, I suppose, that they get. And the difference is, you speaking to drivers that have been with us a few days, a few weeks, we make a point of making sure they're not a number. They're our greatest asset. I need them to come to work and be happy. If they come to work and they're happy, they do a good job. If they do a good job, they can keep doing a good job. And and we keep getting the business back reciprocally.
Yeah.
I look around like somebody's listening.
The world.
We are online.
I have a backdoor entrance, if you like, into a employee WhatsApp group. And when somebody said to me, I think you need to read this, I was a little bit apprehensive. I thought there'd be like pictures of me with a dartboard or something with darts. And there wasn't. Do you know something? It was the nicest conversation I've seen about people here and what we do, and everybody was happy and they can't wait for this to happen and that to happen. And I kind of thought, well, it's great because they're having a conversation amongst themselves
Yeah.
When usually that is, I hate my boss, or, you know, turns up doing this, sits in an ivory tower. There's none of that. And I think you can see from the comments that go online, when you put yourself, when Danny puts you in,
I'm intrigued
Oh,
now.
Danny nearly got a compliment.
Oh, no. Type it out, Richard.
Screw me over now. I was like, what was that? What did I put him on?
Yeah.
Well, how will we ever know?
And
That's a
I think,
cliffhanger.
I mean, this kind of, it is a cliffhanger. I'm sure you'll come back in a moment. I think the tide is turning. I was at an event maybe a month or two ago, and it was kind of an open discussion in a room of maybe 70 odd people. And we were talking about a very similar thing to this. And I remember the mic was passed to a very angry member of the audience, and he was saying, oh, the balance will return and employers will have the power again. And it's about to turn. And I don't think one person agreed with what he was saying. And there's this very old school mentality. I think this chap was from a very corporate background. And I was just thinking, oh God, I would hate to work for this chap, and I hate to see what direction it's going in, because if you get left behind, you know, the people are talking, the people have the power, and you know, the theme here is it's all about honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you back, Richard? No, you're not back. Maybe you are. Are you back? I think you're back.
I'm back. Quick.
Finish it quick.
I can't remember what I was doing now, because I said it all and not realised nobody was listening.
We wanted to.
Well,
I
well,
put you on
thank you
something
so-
Oh yeah. Is that so? Okay, so you put yourself out into an arena, especially when you're using your own social media about your own business, and like when a post goes up, you never know what comments are going to come. So like you open the doors. Now, some people are happy to troll, but when you start getting that feedback back that actually these people are really nice, and you kind of think that it's just flowing downstream, that anybody that's looking at this now is seeing these comments from staff that are engaged with you. All of these things you do, as hard as it seems to start with, oh, I don't like my picture, it's not. You have to look beyond that. This is about putting yourself out there to say, what do people actually think? And I've always said to Danny, I want to know what people think. I have a department of people that find out what people think. It sounds like an organisation, like a spy organisation. We're not, but it's important. You know, we're talking to the customers. I want to know what the feeling is, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. And I think by putting yourself out there and seeing exactly how people feel around you, it's a great thing to do. And I think the socials do that. And then suddenly, you know, Bob, who works in the warehouse, he wants his photo good for, you know, we now live in a world, we've kind of gone full reversal. Nobody wanted to stand in front of a camera or be put on a stage and say, everybody poke fun at that person. We live in a different place now. People are happy to, if they're happy to share that they're happy, you know, and in turn, they get to, it's almost like they've almost become a little bit of a celebrity. Because we work in such a small area, drivers now get recognised. You know, people wave at the trucks in the morning. I spend all my morning on my way to work waving at people like I'm some kind of celebrity. Well, I am. I've been in 2 films, and I have got an IMDb account, which you can look at later. But it gives you that. The drivers feel like they're somebody because they've been given a face. You know, it's brilliant.
They matter.
Yeah. They matter.
Look, they do matter. If they don't matter to you, you've lost them. They are a number that are turning up to take a wage out of your business. Now, a job's a job that has to be done, but it can be done 2 ways. One, with a complete engagement where you're getting that full person's not only work, but they're adding to what we do outside in the ether, if you like. You can't afford to run a business, like Sally said, on just the fact that you can go out and you can try and make a brand as strong as possible. It's not the brand that sells it. It's not the logo that sells it. It's the people. And if you haven't got the people on board, what you're doing is pointless, and you should shut shop.
I feel like it's censored him then.
Oi, mate.
That was so brilliant.
That was a mic drop moment.
Yeah, that was. Okay, guys. Well, I mean, I think kind of, even though we lost that last little snippet from Richard,
I can only imagine it was swearing.
yeah, I think we got the gist of what Richard was saying there. You know, it's obviously all about the employees. So what I want to say is thank you to the people that have attended this live panel and viewed it. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Richard, for coming along and telling us all about your experience.
Very welcome.
You might need. Oh, hey.
Yeah. I'm just back for the buys.
Thank you, Danny, and thank you, Sally. I think it's been a really good, interesting discussion, which we will actually be taking further. So on the 30th of November at 10:30 a.m., Sally and Danny are going to be running a webinar, which is a lead on to this same, on the same subject. The title is going to be how to make sure your employees are and remain your biggest marketing asset. So, you know, we've talked about what's happening in a real world environment at Mitchell's. We're going to be talking about, you know, how you can actually do that as somebody who works managing people or running a business, and how you can really get the best out of that. So you'll be able to find the information for that on our blog page on the Xpand website. That's xpandmarketing.co.uk. There's no E at the beginning. So yeah, you know, please do come along. It'll be a great event, and thank you everyone for joining us.
One final statement to lead this on.
Oh God.
Let's go.
A disengaged employee is like a virus, and they spread a negativity of disease through an amount of people very quickly. People are very susceptible to negative news, and it can be spread very easily by a disengaged employee. So understanding that, recognizing that, and addressing it is absolutely ground zero for me. It's really important part. So I just, you know, what Xpand have done for us, I've got nothing but praise for and thanks, because we wouldn't be where we are without. It's not just about Xpand as a business. It's about the people, and this should come down to everything that we're talking about. You know, anybody can build a website, anybody can do your social media, but without the interaction and the engagement between both parties, it was pointless. So I'd like to just say thank you. Good night.
God bless. Richard has left the building. That was brilliant. Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
And, you know,
you can find me on the other channel now.
And just say, you know, kind of working with you for the last few years, it is very inspiring to see the way that you do things.
100%.
From our side. We have nothing but nice things to say about you over at Xpand.
Oh, that's why I keep muting me off so I can't hear, isn't it?
Right.
Good. No, seriously, this is really important. It's a really important part of staff engagement and growing your business. You know, you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of pounds on equipment and marketing. People are your best asset. I've gone again, haven't I? Oh.
No.
Oh,
No.
No, we were all just bowled over by what you said.
Oh, well, it's true.
Yeah. It's for me, Richard. I mean, you guys are the first strategy I did. So, you know, it's been the whole 3 years of me being at Xpand has been working with Mitchell's, which has been lovely.
But I mean, you know, it's never easy from day one. You know, you've got to want to get people on board, and those people have got to want to get on board. And I suppose, you know, for us, what you did gave us that platform of, you know, we made it open source. I wasn't going to them and saying, take photos of this so I can post them on the. It's now, it's just happening now. Yeah. People are just sending me photos of trucks, which I love trucks. But what it shows that engagement, they're happy with their equipment. I'm going to leave that there.
For us, Richard, was like you say, anybody can just post pictures on social media. Anyone can do that. But when we sat down with you, that wasn't what we were saying we needed to do.
No.
You know, that's a point. And I get frustrated by that because people are like, well, I can just do my social media. Can you? Can you really though? So Oh, he's gone.
Oh, we're blocked.
He was just going to pick me up,
Okay,
and,
Dan.
you know, make my head swell.
Of course. Why wouldn't he? Brilliant, super. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And like I say, the webinar is going to be on the 30th of November at 10:30 a.m. You'll be able to find the details on our website. So thank you so much for coming along, folks.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.